Welcome back. This is Eric Steigerwald, continuing my narration of this video game. Here we can see some more plot. Managed to sneak its way in. I just noticed that there's a cube off on the right that you can see, a black cube. It only shows up occasionally. Anyway, the rest of the storyline. So we're being introduced to our second character. Well, reintroduced, really. The pathogen, as it is called. And the dialogue here changed several times as I tried to recharacterize this guy. He was originally very curious. It was supposed to be a story about a AI that is simultaneously trying to stop you from killing him and also becoming aware of himself as an entity. In the end, that it just didn't. The player didn't really understand. I didn't have enough time to really fully explore it, and so it just felt like many of his dialogue options were weird and out of place because he was discovering more of himself, but that wasn't communicated to the player. So in the end, I just pared down his characterization to "I am going to fight you," basically becoming an ultimate nemesis. He's not a very complex character, but it was easier to communicate that to the player, and they felt like they got it. They understood really fully who this guy was. So here we are at the second level. So right now, the player dies instantly if they are shot. Here. See, he's dead. And then he's back. So this isn't a game that's supposed to be hard. That demonstration of his death is not intentional. This is not a game that is meant to be hard. You can tell this because I don't have a life counter anywhere on the screen. The enemies aren't particularly intelligent, which is unfortunate. The levels aren't very complex. This is a game that was designed to be thrilling, but not actually difficult, which is actually a tendency that I see a whole lot in game design. I didn't really want it to be something where the player would be like, this is incredibly hard, because I had a lot of trouble very early on with the game becoming very, very frustrating. And of course, that's a common mistake that many people make. Many people get overly worried about how frustrated the players will get if the game is hard, so they make the game easy, and thus you get a dearth of bad games that are really like pandering and they do everything for you. And afraid of this becoming that, in many ways, it is basically exactly like those. It is all of those fears manifested in a not very difficult game, but it was also a very exciting experience, actually. I mean, a lot of people liked this game. It was small and it was simple, but it had something about it that was really appealing. This is a tiny mechanic I have. There's a bubble that if you shoot the bubble on the outside, it deflects your bullets, and if you shoot it from the inside, then it's fine. This is an important mechanic to teach. I mean, as I said, these are all supposed to be tutorials for a boss fight that's coming up. So this is something that comes up in the boss fight pretty much every stage. The only thing actually in these levels that doesn't come up again is these dudes who shoot the purple things that hunt you down and kill you dead. And actually, in discussion of that brings me to discussing these enemies and how they function and why they work the way that they do. In many ways, they work the way that they do because it was very easy to program. I mean, they clipped through walls, for heaven's sake. I didn't even have to program in some kind of way to do pathfinding. And as a junior designer, I think that that's somewhat important, but you also have, the other thing about the enemies is that I guess it all ties back to the fact that this game isn't meant to be very hard. They're simple enemies, they're enough to be exciting. They definitely would have been the first place I would have expanded. Alright, next video, we'll go on to the final boss.